This is a time of transition in America. For those of us working in city building and community development, this is a moment to be daring, to dream big and speak the future we want into being. Our cities have talent and ideas. That's not the issue. The question is whether we will listen. We invited some great minds across cities to hear what they're thinking about their own work in this moment and how they're building what comes next. You being here, sir, is so monumental to me, and it is representative of a mission that I dreamt up a long time ago, to be in brave space and to be in conversations with Black folks in my city, but Black folks from everywhere, right? Because there's so much that we can learn from each other. There's so much encouragement that happens in conversation, and I believe that conversations like this also are the impetuses for change, are the impetuses for daring to imagine, daring to be revolutionary enough to dream, right? Yeah. Because we ain't asked about what we dream about like that. We're not often asked. Yeah. And so to continue to have these conversations and push that narrative out and give Black folks especially time to reflect and to dream and to imagine is revolutionary. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let me ask you this about dreams and visions, right? Growing up in Orange Mound, seeing the tower vacant time and time again and imagining what it could be if it was resourced. And this is just, one part of the city. I want to ask you about your dreams for Orange Mound. I want to ask you about your dreams for all of Memphis. Yeah. What do you see in the future?
Man, this is going to be an ambiguous one, but I think y'all are going to feel me on this. My biggest dream for Memphis is for those in power, whether that be political or with economic power, right? To own and accept that the city is Black AF. That is it. I feel like, the city deals with a supreme identity crisis. I think us on the ground know exactly what it is.
The chambers of power. Say more about this identity crisis, because do the people in Memphis know exactly where they are in the ground that they stand on and know that it's Black? Is it the chambers of power? Is it City Hall? Is it the municipal structure that just won't accept that?
It's all that and more, right? Okay. And so you're thinking about the marketing of Memphis. You're talking about what gets supported and accepted in that marketing of Memphis, right? You're talking about deciding what is the selling factor of Memphis, right? So if we have tourism, right, what about us is tourism worthy, right? And the way I've been putting it most recently is we live in Wakanda and they have not discovered our vibranium yet, but we know what it is. And to be quite honest, I think I spent many years desperately telling them what it is. Now I prefer not to. Yep. Now I prefer we discover that and put motion into that. So that way, when it happens, it's ours.
There's this question that I like to ask about dreams as we wind down the conversation. I think it's revolutionary to ask Black people what they're dreaming about because sometimes the reality of the present is so harsh that it inhibits us from even talking or even thinking about the future. As you are steeped in racial equity work, as you are steeped in being an activist for our young people and providing a platform and stage for them to express their own power, what are you dreaming?
I've had this year in my head of 2035. And it just came to me maybe a month ago. And a part of it is that everyone is so focused on 2030. You know, that is when demographically there'll be so many shifts. You know, there's the Compact 2030, or they're focused on 2040. I've been reading about a lot of the companies in Detroit who are making these big plans for 2030, investing billions in electric vehicles and smart grid, all with these big plans. 2035 is 14 years away. So think of the youngest person that you love.
Okay.
How old will they be in 14 years?
About that age.
Exactly. So for me, that's Coda, who's 15, and Braxton, who's 19, and my daughter, Sadie, who's 25. What is Detroit for them in just 14 years? And so this is how, often in racial equity and racial justice work, we stay at dismantle. That's like step one. But we don't talk about the utopic liberatory future that we're heading toward.
Okay.
And so I think in 14 years, we need to have a view of where we're going, and we need to know along the way if we are getting there.
The dystopic utopian future.
Well, it's you know, Lauren Hood is here in the audience. We've talked about the Black Thriving Index. How do we not focus on deficits of what we don't have, but actually focus on where we're going and what we need to have? How does every neighborhood in Detroit look in 2035? Is it abundant? Is there small businesses and musicians and artists and gardens? Are there, you know, self-driving cars as public transportation taking us to like apprenticeships and after-school programs? And, you know, what does it look like to have a thriving Detroit in every neighborhood? And how do we get there?
Yeah, we will. What gives you hope? What keeps you going?
History, my lineage, love, laughter, the fact that I can still, you know, feel in my body when pain happens or when excitement happens. The fact that there are all these beautiful Black people in this room, it you know, because we could be so defeated. We have the right to be defeated. We have the right to be stressed and exhausted and tired. And yet, in the face of all that, folks have chosen to be here, to be in love, to hear the soothing warmth of your voice and leadership.
Whatever, your voice. You got this Billy D thing happening.
You know, and for us to be in this communal conversation that, you know, is reflective of so much of the work that is happening across this room. Like, it's not my story. Like, this is our story.